Fungal Infection Spore is one of those mods that makes you ask the hard questions. The fragility of life, the sensitive balance of nature. And why the heck does the Hindenburg keep adding me for child support? That's not my baby! In this video, I'm going to present my theory on the origins of the fungal disease, how I think the disease operates, and using in-game lore like structures and spawn conditions. I'm also going to use the real-life example of funguses. Also, if the creators of Fungal Spore are watching, I love this mod. It's the best infection mod, hands down. You guys are my heroes! Question 1. What's the lore? What's the story? How did it start? Floofy. This is painfully obvious, you say. We can tell from the infected scientists and the naturally generating structures of the labs and hospitals that this is very obviously a bioweapon. We can tell thanks to the plague. It got out of control, broke out, and destroyed everything. I don't think that's right. I think this is a hyper-aggressive evolution of the brown Minecraft mushroom. Scientists tried to cure it, failed, and here we are. I think it's the brown mushroom because all of the infected mobs are either brown or pale. I don't see any red mushroom ones. When you start a new Minecraft world, there's only 4 ways you can come across the fungus. From a scamper who dies, leaving behind mounds that spread the plague, naturally spawning infected zombies, structures, or mushroom islands. One of these things is not like the other. Mushroom biome? Completely overtaken by the fungus when in most other places the fungus hasn't even got a few mounds set up? Interesting. I think this soft proves that the mushroom fields are the patient zero of the fungus outbreak, as they have the fungus infection way worse than the others. And just the general suspiciousness of a fungus disease being so rampant on a mushroom island. But I want to take a moment to look at the mobs, infected scientist, and lacerator. Hazmat suits? Gas masks? Bone saws? What is modern equipment doing in Minecraft? And look at these structures. Hospitals, labs, frozen mines holding advanced freezing technology that slows and even destroys the fungus? Obviously, this proves a few things. This struggle was going on for a long time, and this rewrites the lore of when Minecraft takes place. Thanks to these details, we can basically prove that Minecraft, when played with the fungus infection, actually takes place in the modern day. This is the only explanation on how not only is there modern equipment, but how Steve can recognize things like gas masks and how to make one for himself, labs, hospitals, and even the Hindenburg. At this point, the story pieces itself together. In modern Minecraft, humans went to the mushroom fields and saw this horribly aggressive fungus. They knew they had to cure it at once, so they took a sample home and tested it in their labs. However, they weren't making progress fast enough, so they approved human experimentation, and that's how we got hospitals and the plague. They almost figured out the cure with the ice units. The fungus hates the cold. They were so close to making a cure, but it wasn't enough. In the church, a cult was harvesting organs, most likely aware of this fungus's true power. Suddenly, the fungus began to appear everywhere. Labs failed and hospitals fell into disarray, and the fungus won. I think this is the story of the fungal infection. Again, only the mod authors know, but as a novelist and a storyteller, cracking down on stuff like this through the context clues we're given is something I have a lot of experience in. And I actually think this is a pretty good story. I think we have our answer here. Question 2. What if it is in fact a bioweapon? A lot of things makes me think that this is a bioweapon. First of all, look at this. The fungus doesn't care at all about infecting animals. The fungus will only attack 3 groups: villagers, illagers, and humans. That's very unusual behavior. But you could pretty easily write this off by saying this species of fungus only infects humanoids and hasn't made the zoonotic shift to animals yet. This is actually more plausible than you think. It takes a lot of time and a lot of luck for a disease to make a zoonotic shift. Question 3. Is the fungus actually a harmful entity? I know this is a very, very dumb question, but actually, hear me out. I recently explored this same concept in my work-in-progress novel, Patient Zero. Look at this. The fungus only takes control of monsters once they die. Is it possible that the fungus actually doesn't want to kill people, but rather keep them alive at all costs, thus reviving them once they die? No, I can't entertain this theory any longer. The fungus obviously has nefarious purposes, and we know this because it will summon calamity mobs. If the fungus was actually a passive entity that only wanted to keep us alive, but changed, it wouldn't be so obsessed with destroying things. Question 4. Are the victims alive or dead? I think a piece of them is dead. I think the fungus keeps the frontal lobe dead while keeping the rest of the brain alive. This would explain why villagers can open doors, pillagers can shoot crossbows, and why both villagers and illagers will attack their own people. This ends when the infected are fed to a womb, which will grind them up and use their parts to create a calamity. Where instead of keeping the individual brain alive to use their past memories to help the fungus gain an advantage, it becomes a giant brain communicating with the hive mind and vigils. This makes sense since infected villagers don't really sound like villagers and infected illagers don't really sound like illagers. It's because the part of the brain responsible for things like personality and making you is dead, and only the part that knows how to survive remains. Whew, that was so much easier to make a theory on than Escape and Run. I swear, asking Escape and Run for lore is like asking KFC for a $30 meal, and all they give you is a crinkle fry and an ice cube in your dang drink. I think next time I might do a theory on Flesh That Hates. I'll see you then. Until next time. Bye now.